So big goals for our kids and for our school community for this year. First one, and we've been talking to them about that already, and you guys can be ever so helpful on this, is we want them to be present. And by that we mean two things. We do want them physically here every day that they're well and able. We want them physically here, and especially on Mondays, because it kind of sets the stage for the entire week, right? They're going to find out what they're going to learn on Monday. They're going to find out the plan, they're going to see the scope, and they're going to know what to do if they're here on that initial day for the week. And especially on Fridays, because those are the days we celebrate or culminate that learning. So those 2 days are key, and we want them to be physically here if they're well. If at all possible, physically here in their chair. But what we've been telling the kids too, how we've been framing this as a staff, is it's not just about showing up. But when you're on campus, when you're in that desk, when you're in that classroom space, even in the multi-purpose room for lunch, be present in a mindful sense, in a focused sense. We don't want just their bodies, we want really to engage all of them, because we think that is something that helps anybody learn. So we want them to be focused, we want them to be attentive, we want them to be thoughtfully approaching the work of being a good student, of being a good citizen. So that's number one. We want the kids to be present. And we want you guys around here as much as possible too. And I know that's not possible maybe as much as you would like, volunteering in classrooms, just visiting, having lunch with your student, something like that. But I've got a way for you to be virtually present as parents. Check this out. Our school leads the district currently, and I'm kind of competitive, so I want to keep that edge, in terms of subscribers to the district website app, the district app. It's free. You can get it in your app store on your phone, both Android and Apple. And what that does is it allows us as an organization, as a district, but as an Old River school, to push information to your phone that we think you're going to find interesting. And you can subscribe to Warren if you have children there too, and that kind of thing. But I really encourage you to get the app so you can be present even if you're at the office, or even if you're at home, or even maybe if it's on a Saturday. Every day, I should say every school day, I post something that's happening on our campus. Okay, I tweak that out because I want to tell our story. And we have a good story here. We have a good story every single day. So you see pictures of your kids, potentially, and their friends, and of learning, and of kids making good choices in terms of service to our community. So I encourage you to get that. Go to the app, choose Subscribe Old River. It's free. And then when you check your phone, you might see a bright-eyed, beautiful Wrangler, might even belong to your family, on there. And here's the other benefit. You've heard something about fake news lately? Yeah, so if you are following @LuckyWrangler, that is the official Twitter site for our school. I manage it as the principal. I post on it most of the time, just me. You won't have fake news. You're going to have our story, but if something that would be safety related actually happened, hopefully it would never, you could get Twitter truth, okay? So I really, for a safety reason, would want you to engage with that app and subscribe and tell your neighbors the same. Love to have your participation, your presence, even if it's virtual, every single school day. So sign up for that. We want the kids to remember why they come to school. Yes, to learn something, but here's some other things that we have here and have had for a decade, and hopefully we'll have for a decade more, at least. There's community here. There's innovative teaching here. There are opportunities for the kids to learn in interesting new ways, like Battle of the Books. We have one-to-one technology in a lot of the classrooms. Each year, we've got staff that are finding new activities and ways to point kids in directions of learning and of service. So there's a lot for them. And again, it's all about that number one big point for this year for all of us, especially our Wranglers, and that would be present. Hopefully that makes sense. Number two, we want our students, we want your children to love learning. And we want our younger ones to love reading first, because we know that if they love reading, right, that helps them learn everything else. And we want them to see in action from us as a staff and from you guys at home as their parents and other loved ones that you believe in them, we believe in them. We want them to love learning. That's point number 2. Number 3, this is a little bit different, but it's from a good place and some, again, healthy introspection and examination of our practice here. And I think also answers challenge that is now in our culture and society that maybe we didn't have 10, 11 years ago when we opened. Third point is we want our kids to love challenge. Why is that? Life is challenging, right? There's no predicting sometimes what's going to happen in a situation from one day to the next. So we want them to love challenge, and we want to help them build persistence. I've heard recently that there are jobs that these kids this year will do when they're adults that haven't been invented yet. So we want to give them the basics, their ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, but we also have to help them build some new capacity, and that is to not give up, to stick to something even if it's difficult, to reach out to mom and dad, to teacher, the principal for help academically or behaviorally, and we want them to love challenge but have appropriate support at the same time. Hopefully that makes sense. Fourth one, we want them, and I think you're going to see lots of things on Twitter and on visits on campus, and hopefully you have in years past, you've done this before. We want them to love their school. We want them to love school because there's a bunch of stuff here, and there is, as I mentioned already, community. And one of the things we talk to kids about, and we just did it again last week, is that kindness is important. It counts in life. And that's kind of the kid word. It's how you activate. It's how you actualize loving your school is by showing kindness. But the adult word on that is compassion. We want kids to not just love their school, but overall, we want them to love each other here. It's a tall order, but it is about community, and it's about living life well. So we're going to try to model that. We know you guys are doing that at home. We see evidence of that in your kids, and that's going to be our fourth big point this year to emphasize with the children. Okay? So again, be present, physically, mindfully. Focus, this is what we're telling the kids. Pay attention, do your best. 2, love learning. We believe in them, you believe in them. They have opportunity here. 3, love challenge, persistence, stick-to-itiveness. Don't give up, you're a wrangler. And number 4, love their school and love each other. Show kindness. Default to respect. Okay? Those are all examples of honest words, honest actions, and honest days' work. And we think that that helps them build capacity to become the adults that you want them to be and the neighbors that we want them to be in future. All right. So we did some things to kind of help those whys, those big targets, get accomplished. And you may have heard a few of them already. One is that we changed lunch. And there's even a YouTube video, it's me talking, sorry, YouTube video, and it's kind of explaining to the kids what it was that we were trying to create for them with flipping the lunch. And in case they didn't tell you, or in case you haven't watched the video, we wanted them to be present, mindful of having polite conversation and having the time to do it. And using good table manners, because those are life skills. And we wanted them to have a little more time for lunch. Now, the video was actually published the day before the first day of school. They saw it on the first day of school. By show of hands, anybody come home and talk about the lunch thing that first day or second day? Excellent. But we've even been watching it, and we've tweaked a few things since. And the kids know because they're in real time with us as well. But if you watch the video, just know it's not quite exactly what it was because we're paying attention ourselves, and we're trying to make it good, better, best, right? So the idea was more time to eat, polite conversation, and good table manners, because these are business skills, these are life skills, these are good things. And the point I made to the kids on the video was, you know, what adults do when they go out with friends or family most of the time? We eat, right? We go to a restaurant, we have somebody over for dinner. These are good things, to share a table, right? Even just family dinner. But there is then currency for making sure that we give them an opportunity to do that. The video's name on YouTube is A Brand New Lunch, and again, it helps them, I think, love their school and love one another. Second, you may have heard, we have a new reading curriculum. It's intense, but it's good. We're learning this brand new tool this year as a team and we're sharing it with your kids. Somebody described that kind of process in years past with other curriculum adoptions as you're building the airplane as you fly it. It's an interesting exercise. It's a tall order. But it has been done in the past. We're going to do it well again this year. And your kids are going to be talking about some even online resources for that. And probably the teachers tonight the same thing. 3, another actionable item, something we want to do to lead into those 4 other big goals, is we want to make sure that everyone's safe and they feel connected and that they are learning. And we're going to be looking for evidence of that throughout the school year and listening to you too. Get the app, email, call the school, stop by, those kinds of things are all appropriate and welcome. We're going to continue to adjust. We're not perfect, we're human just like everyone, but our hearts are here for our kids, your children, and we're going to do our very best job. And since Old River began, here's how that works. And I was a little bit younger then, right? It had to be good enough for my kids. It had to be good enough for Jessica and Katie. And now I'm a little bit farther down the road. But we still feel this way as a team. And now I get to add, and it has to be good enough for Christopher and Maggie, because those are my grandkids, right? We take what happens here personally. We know these are your babies. They're precious, they're treasures. We have a role along with you to, again, build capacity, watch their safety, and help them feel connected and valued at school. I heard a thing recently that was kind of fun. I've never heard it before. I don't really follow baseball, but I like this quote so much, I did a little Google search on this, right? Another new tool. Have you heard this phrase, hitting is contagious? I thought, this is just something that people say. I didn't believe it, so I fact-checked it, right? And there are studies that have to do with something called mirror neurons in your brains, our brains. And hits are contagious in the sense that in baseball, players watch each other. And there are these mirror neurons, they're calling them, in the brain, and we learn from each other's behavior, the swing, the stance, those kinds of things. And someone who goes up to bat after someone who's already made some hits, as compared to someone who's had, like strikeout, it's a 50 to 70% improvement across a wide study. 50 to 70% improvement if you're following someone who made a hit themselves, or you're following your own hits. I was really intrigued with that statistic in that study. I like science anyway. I used to teach that in another life. But I thought there was something about that for us tonight. We want our kids as adults to see hits. We're going to do our very best as a staff. We're counting on you to do the very same thing at home, in the park, in our parking lot, at school activities, all those kinds of things. Hits are contagious. Our kids are worth it. We're going to be in our very best form. We know you guys are too. And we do this because we want our kids to have capacity. We want them to be successful in adults. And someday I'm going to need a cardiologist, right? That could be your kid. And we want to bring them a step further toward whatever goal they have in life here this year at Old River Elementary. So, having said that, I get to introduce to you someone who makes lots of hits around here and has for years, a parent, and now your posse, or Old River Parent Club president. And please welcome her with a round